uncovering the truth behind Jen Soto's actions and the justice Maddie deserves.
Next, why Jen didn't get arrested? Is she going to get arrested? What's going on in Florida? I see it. Yesterday, when I got off of our live stream, I went into another YouTuber's chat and I went on there and I talked with them, and there's so many questions to still be had. So I did not want to just wrap it up and say, okay, we're done with that. Let's go to the next case. We are moving to the next case, and the next case, but I want to make sure that I feel like I did justice for Maddie in the way that I could, in any way that I could. So welcome everybody. Let's find out where the worst mother ever is. Evil mother, whatever you want to call Jen Soto, that gave Madeline to Stefan and just handed her daughter to Stefan. That's what we're going to talk about, all right? And even Stefan, guys, Stefan's kicking himself for not having said anything, but I still can't understand if he is or was trying to blame it on Maddie that she was no longer alive. Did she do something, or is he alluding to the fact that Jen was involved? That question may not be answered for some time, but guess what? With patience and some diligence, we'll get the answers that we so desire. We'll get the best that we can, because you know me, I don't stop until I'm done. Even if there's a war going on, I'm still going to go. So let's get to this. This is more than a discussion. It's facts. It's topics that need to be discussed, topics I see you discussing. So I would say, guys, today, take the opportunity while we're streaming to get out what you want to get out, answer any questions. If you have questions, you can super chat, super sticker, or if you don't have the means, you can put QQQ for Jay, and I'll see what I can do to answer those questions. Tomorrow, we're really going to wrap up with Stefan Stearns. I believe I'm going to do a call-in show tomorrow, all right, so that you guys can ask the questions that you desire, because after that, we're moving fast and forward, all right? Fast forward, next case. Anybody that needs help, guilty of crime by j@gmail.com. If you want to get a voice for the people that don't have them, or you're a family member of the victim, aunt, uncle, parent, cousin, teacher, whatever it may be, reach out to me and we will look at the next case. So welcome everybody. Sin, thank you for being here. Tiff, Carly, if you're here, and Foxy, welcome everybody. Welcome. All right, guys, we got a big show today. Worst mother ever. And I know you guys have questions. I've been seeing them. I saw them today in the Thomas video that I cut out. Thomas Karras is the one that led police to Madeline Soto's body and ultimately got Stefan caught. He got Stefan caught because he didn't take no for an answer by law enforcement, and he pushed, and he said, this is what we're doing. We're not going to let this go. This guy looks creepy. He looks evil. He looks like we need to look at him closer. So welcome. Hello, Cynthia. Good to see you. Hashtag arrest Jen Soto. Absolutely. That's what we want to do. But I do want you to know that Stefan is not trying to save her. He's very open about the culpability that I think he has. And I'll read something for you later just so you can see what I'm saying as well. All right. So let's continue. Justice for Maddie. All right. You guys will think of questions. Don't worry. You guys have so many questions. Why wasn't Deb there? What were they doing? And tomorrow we're going to go over the Stefan Stearns case so we can talk more about that. But I'll tell you right now that they did not know that there was going to be a double plea deal. The only one that possibly knew, and for some reason he seems to act like he didn't understand, was Stefan. The parents were not invited into the court. They were given a Zoom link to watch the sentencing and the plea. And the people that were in the court were the people that were the spectators, the media, and the families of the victim. So I just want you to know that when people say, where were they? Why was there nobody there? They didn't know about it. They literally did not know about it. And Deb says to me, I trust you to put out what you need to. I trust that what you're going to say I just trust what you're going to use in the content that you use, so I'll use it sparingly. Lori M, thank you so much for the $10 Cash App. I appreciate that so very much. All right. Thank you for helping me support the channel. I'm doing a lot of new things on the channel to make sure we're doing the right things on Guilty of Crime. So I'm doing that so that we can have a more solid channel for future victims and you all, which are here, the Guilty of Crime crew. All right. And that's fine. You guys do not have to have questions. If I can get everything answered, then let's go. I do want to show you, because I have been talking about the Osceola sheriffs and what went sideways, guys. What went sideways with this case? Why did Marcos Lopez and the other officers that were arrested, what did they have to do with this case? And why such a quiet plea deal that just said, bam, we're coming, we're doing a plea, we're sentencing all in one day, only the family is going to know, very hush hush. Why did they do that? Well, we want justice for Madeline Soto too, but I believe law enforcement screwed up. Sheriff Marcos Lopez and his cohorts did some things, and they were intertwined in the case from the get-go, and it got dropped. They got arrested. Osceola didn't want to take the heat, so they went. Now, Peter says, I told you she was innocent, and I'd love to see that. She has not been arrested, but what is she doing? All right, now this is Osceola. This just came out a little while ago, and it's talking about, a sheriff is talking about how this affected the law enforcement, the police force. How did it affect it? And I'm going to speculate that this did affect what happened in the Madeline Soto case with Jen Soto from day one. He didn't understand it was a double plea. Apparently not. I'll read that to you later on. All right, today we're talking about worst mother ever, and I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. I say she's the worst mother ever for never showing up to anything, for stealing. Yes, I said it, stealing the GoFundMe $16,000 that was supposed to go to Maddie's funeral. All right, so hashtag arrest Jen Soto. Jen Soto, if we take everything away from what Jen Soto did, she's still not innocent for the neglect, for the DRUG abuse that she put upon her daughter, for the DRUG abuse that she did the whole time we saw her high AF every day. All right, so let's listen about how this affected law enforcement. It's a quick one, but I want you to know how it affected law enforcement and why I think they crammed all this into a plea deal, didn't do anything with Jen Soto, shut, and move on. A lot of people are still feeling like they're stuck in this case and they didn't get the closure that they need.
Suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez was arrested for a number of charges related to illegal gambling. In his absence, interim Sheriff Christopher Blackman has been at the helm and tonight is joining us live in studio to talk about the transition. Sheriff, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Take us back to that day. After all of that unfolded, you walk into the sheriff's office for the first time. How do you convince county employees that things are going to be different going forward?
I just met with...
All right, remember, if you didn't watch any of my videos about Sheriff Marco Lopez and the racketeering and all the others that got arrested for racketeering and many other crimes, along with his own wife, and how it took them a while to bail out, to have and prove that they had clean money. All right. Yes, they stole a bunch of money. $1.6 million just floating around with cash all in their hands, a bunch of them. All right. So this, in my opinion, affected a lot of things. Now, Grandpa Soto was not there. Grandpa Soto is getting a little bit older. I haven't heard any statements from the case, but I know I'm going to say that I believe that Juan wasn't into, he didn't want to be involved in it. He's getting older. He's not with Yolanda. Him and Yolanda are not together. All right. So I'm speculating. I don't exactly know where he was, but I'm going to assume that is where he was. Prayers for Tyler. I also want to talk about Tyler as well and make sure people understand that in the beginning of this case, Tyler Wallace, Maddie's father, discussed parental alienation, lawyers fighting him, to move him out of Florida. He used to live in Florida and he moved to Texas. He even talks about the money or lack thereof that he had to go and get Madeline Soto anytime he wanted. Now there's 222 people. Please say a prayer that Maddie gets the justice she deserves and that Jen is accountable and at some point gets arrested for the neglect, for the DRUGs, for a lot of things that she admitted to. All right, good to see you, Lori. Anna Fleming, how you doing? You agree? You disagree? Kissimmee Police would be the lead department and would have jurisdiction. Yes, but police have been moved around is the problem. So Kissimmee Police had lead detectives and lead. Look at Sheriff Marcos. He was the sheriff. He was the lead, and they did not. So you would say he would have jurisdiction, but the jurisdiction has changed. The people have changed in the jurisdiction, Anna, and that's what I'm talking about.
Each section of the sheriff's office.
Again, we can agree
We
to
spoke with them and ensured them that we were taking over and there was no fear of their job going forward. And we would have to look at the sheriff's office in a whole to see what changes need to be made, if any.
What changes do need to be made?
So we made some command staff changes, basically cleaned house, so to speak. We changed the entire structure at the top of the sheriff's office. I brought in 3 people from outside in the major rank, which in our structure, it's sheriff. We have the undersheriff, and then we have a series of majors.